Welcome to the Kashnin Eld Light Dreams.
Have you ever heard of a last wish so powerful that it completely changed the course of a family? This is not a made-up story, but a true one, filled with love, faith, and suffering. A woman, aware that her life was ending far too soon, looked into her husband's eyes and asked him for something no one would imagine. That when she was gone, he would not let the little daughter be raised by a stranger, but instead marry her own sister. A request that seemed unthinkable, but which hid the greatest of concerns, the future and happiness of their little girl. What would you do if the person you love most in the world left you with such a profound mission? Join me in this story narrated by Deadlight Dreams in I Miss You So Much, where you will discover how far a mother's love can go, the pain of a farewell, and the strength of a promise that transcends generations. It was in August of 1991 that my life took a turn I could never have imagined. I didn't know it yet, but I was about to live one of the most beautiful land at the same time, most painful stories of my life. I met Jemina, but everyone lovingly called her. She was a simple, sweet woman with a smile that could light up any place. We started dating, and in just 10 months, we realized we could no longer live without each other. And so we got married. Like every young couple, we dreamed of growing our family. But in a careless moment, unaware of the danger, we carried a heavy television together. A few days later, began to feel severe pain. And then came the news that shattered our hearts. We had lost the baby. A heavy silence fell between us, an emptiness, a pain that seemed endless. But God is merciful. In time, became pregnant again. This time, we took every possible precaution. Every appointment was accompanied by prayer. Every ultrasound was a celebration. And then the big day came. Brenda was born, our little princess. Full Av Hail. Happiness returned to our home. When Brenda was almost 2 years old, we traveled to mother, Donna Maria, had not yet met her granddaughter. It was a special trip, but at the farewell, hugged her mother tightly and said, "Mom, maybe this will be the last time you see me." I got upset, told her it was nonsense. But deep down those words echoed inside me. Months later, in February, right after lunch, lay down for a while. Suddenly, she began to convulse, clenching her teeth, moaning in pain. Desperate, I rushed her to the emergency room in Jardine Silveira, but her condition was critical, and she had to be transferred to the regional hospital of Osasco. Was connected to machines, drifting between moments of lucidity and fainting. I held her hand, begging God to let her stay with me. In the same room, there was another patient, an elderly lady, and it was she who, in an unexpected moment, called me, "Young man, I need to tell you something. Your wife asked me to give you a message." My heart froze. The lady continued. She said that if she dies, she doesn't want a stranger to raise your daughter. Marry her sister. At that moment, I remembered that years before, joking, Joe had said the same thing. But now it was no joke. In the early hours of February 8th, 1997, at 4:10 in the morning, the impossible happened. Was gone. My world collapsed. I felt empty, lost. I looked at my little Brenda, so small, and thought, now what? How am I going to raise her alone? The funeral was at the municipal cemetery of Barueri. I remember the crying, the flowers, the coffin being lowered into the grave, and the unbearable pain of seeing my beloved depart. When I called my mother-in-law in Pernambuco to break the news, she cried and said, "I knew it. My daughter already sensed her departure." Those words pierced my chest like a knife. Time passed. The pain never truly left, but life had to go on. And then I remembered S' request. It was not an easy decision, but I understood it was her wish. I married a sister, not out of convenience, but out of love for my daughter, so Brenda could be raised within her mother's own family. Years later came the news of a new pregnancy. My heart filled with mixed emotions. And in that moment, I made a promise. If it was a girl, she would be named Jemina, the name of the mother, the name of the woman who changed my life and who will never be forgotten. Today, Brenda is growing beautifully, surrounded by love. And every time I look at her, I remember you. You left too soon, but you left me with a request, a direction, and a love that will never die. Eternal longing. Barueri, Jardim Tupã, Josivaldo Câmara Mota.